All right, free radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave, and this is the Radical Independent. Back again. I want to talk about how the progressive movement is becoming completely unhinged and unglued, and it's no wonder that people run over to the Republican Party after a while. It's no wonder. It's just chaos. It's mayhem. You've got a divided Democratic Party. Could be the end of the Democratic Party. I don't know. I think they have enough money and they can basically keep purchasing things if they need it. Bloomberg's out there. He's got endless amounts of money. He can run neoliberals and pay people to vote, basically, and so forth, and help these Democrats who have no clue and who also don't plan on anything radical once they get to the House or the Senate. It's just going to be Republican light. But you know why people would rather go for a real Republican versus a fake Republican in the end? Because the real Republican is going to say the things that they believe and then kind of do it. You know, other than like Marco Rubio. I mean, there are a few of them out there that kind of don't do what they say, and they're, neoconservative and they're irritating. But for the most part, you kind of know what you're getting. With the Democratic Party right now, you have no idea what you're going to get. And this battle for the soul of the party, which kind of ended last night, to me is really indicative of the struggle between ideas presented in a way that are palatable versus platitudes. That's what this is about. People would actually rather hear platitudes than extremism. And when I say extremism, I'm saying how you frame topics. And you've got to have a very well thought out, easy to articulate way of presenting yourself. A lot of people are doing this post-mortem thing today, and they're blaming all kinds of things that had no bearing on this. For instance, right? For weeks now, Tulsi Gabbard supporters have been told that, hey, just unite with the burners. Put away your differences and unite. And we're all like, well, wait a minute. These differences are kind of big because they're principled differences. And we sense that Bernie is kind of moving toward the neoliberal establishment with some of his policy ideas and some of his language. And just the fact that, he's not going to pick up any Trump supporters by saying Trump is the most dangerous president, when that might not necessarily be true if you put a neoliberal in office who believes in preemptive war, because basically that's what they're selling us over on the left. Preemptive war is okay. We just have to keep that going because that's what everybody believes in. And I'm like, hey, over here, Bueller, over here. I don't believe in that. And there are a number of people who support Tulsi and a few that did support Bernie, and those who go Green Party or Libertarian, who truly believe that we can't do squat until we get this giant behemoth under control, which is to some known as the military-industrial complex. But it's the military, it's the media, it's academia, there's so many, it's entertainment in our country. All of these things comprise what I would call the fog of political war. How's that for a new term? It puts people in a fog and they can't think straight. And then they start to worry about language. The language police come around, and then that goes to like free speech issues. There's so many facets to this, and this is why we basically need a reset. And the thing that I've been saying, not, Bernie and Tulsi need to unite. I've been saying Tulsi and the rest of us need a way around this behemoth. We need a way around. It's just crazy. And nobody senses that. People just go, okay, let's just go straight ahead with this corrupt party will go straight ahead. And who does the corrupt party nominate? Well, they're nominating the corrupt guy with his son who did stuff that Trump didn't do, but worse. And nobody wants to investigate, because if that comes out and the truth actually came out, people would be like, hey, all Trump did was make a phone call and he put a little pressure on the guy to look into something. Hunter Biden, and people are going to, on the right, because that's the only place you'll get an honest critique, is on the right, because there's skepticism and they want to defeat the guy on the left. So there's tribalism involved, but occasionally the tribalism will reveal some truths that are uncomfortable for those on the left who believe it's just great that we've got Joe Biden. They're going to seize power from Trump, but they're going to get the exact same type of presidency. Do nothing, neoliberal, endless war. Endless war will continue. The healthcare problem will continue. Oh, we're going to reinstate the individual mandate. Oh, that's going to go over big with people in the heartland who already are, struggling as it is. Not only are they going to have big deductibles and copays because they don't hit the Obamacare sweet spot, they're now going to have to pay a tax on top of it. So, yeah, that's not going to be a popular program. And all of this taxing the upper end, that's not going to happen under Biden. He might fiddle around with the numbers a little bit, but he isn't going to do anything to change that. And you got people like Cenk Uygur out there already saying Biden all the way. What? Andrew Yang yesterday, Biden all the way. I'll tell you what, folks. I hate to say this out loud, but if Tulsi Gabbard says I'm endorsing Joe Biden for president, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go grab my Xanax roller, and I'm just going to chill out for a while. She might do that. She might have to do that. I don't think she's going to, but if she does, so long as she doesn't go out and actively campaign and get on the campaign trail with Joe and so forth, because she knows in her heart that this is, again, to hate to use an old cliche, but rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, especially when it comes to the military budget, endless war, and what I would call lame neoliberal sameism. It's the same as it ever was. It's not going to change. And there are going to be those who you thought, wow, this was a dyed-in-the-wool progressive. I used to watch them all the time on TV. They talk about progressive, and now they're hyping Joe Biden, who earlier they called a racist, a war. I guess some of them called him a warmonger, but with the Iraq war vote and so forth. And now they're gonna come right on over. They would never think of, maybe on principle, maybe I should look at the Green Party. Why not? Maybe I should look at the Libertarian Party. Something else. There are alternatives. If it's on the ballot in your state, this would be the election cycle to send a message. That's why you shouldn't give up on Tulsi Gabbard right now. Because right now, Tulsi Gabbard is kind of running a parallel campaign within the Democratic Party. This is the ultimate troll, what she's doing. She's saying, I'm not going anywhere because I need you guys to start talking about this stuff. And anybody, if she does an interview, it's another interview where she's going to speak the truth to power. Powerful people do not want to hear what she is saying. And all of you who thought, oh, Bernie's the most progressive. No, using your criteria, Bernie is not the most progressive candidate. It's always been Tulsi Gabbard. It's always been Tulsi. And for those of you who think, well, Tulsi's kind of a secret right-winger. She served her country. She went overseas. She believes in war. She likes war. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She was trying to help her country after the country got hit by an attack that was largely due to the idea that we destabilized an area and we looked the other way. When Wahhabism in Saudi Arabia gained traction, all we tend to do is give those guys weapons and money. And we're hoping that they keep quiet. But then we go around and occupy a whole bunch of territory in that area. And yeah, that might radicalize a few people who get ticked off and say, screw it. This one's for Allah, right? It's perverted. I'm not saying that's the way Islam is, but I'm saying that's how it gets perverted. But nobody wants to look into that. You know who wanted to look into that? Tulsi Gabbard wants to look into that. What truly happened on 9/11? That's the reason she went to serve the country. And she got a perspective after we had been there for 20 years or how many years. She's had a perspective and she said, you know what? No, we can do this better. We don't have to do nation building. We don't have to do fake humanitarian efforts over there. And how are we going to pay for all this stuff that people want, like the free public college and loan forgiveness, which would be a huge one for so many people? Well, we bring some of this money back home. You're never going to bring that money back home if you elect Joe Biden. And I might add, you'd have a big problem if you had nominated Bernie Sanders. I truly believe that. I believe, look, if Bernie can get rolled on all these different things, and he's going up to Vermont, he's going away, he's not doing his rally in Ohio, speculation again, of course he's going to have to drop out. Of course. And who's he going to endorse? I mean, tell you what, the Bernie bros are going to be like out of their mind. And then you'll hear all the explanations from progressive media. Well, this is what happens in politics. And then you're going to hear, well, if those Tulsi people had just, stopped being so, dug in about their candidate. Folks, this isn't just a candidate, although she has sparked this movement. This is something much larger than just a candidacy. This is somebody who's got ideals, who said service before self. Nobody else has said that. Not me, us is close, but service requires work. The working philosophy versus hurry up and give me something. Tulsi Gabbard is willing to give you something, but she's also saying, well, you need to put service before self. A very JFK-esque thing to say, and something that you don't hear anymore, especially from a Democrat. So this was interesting. This was an interesting campaign that Tulsi Gabbard has run and continues to run. It's inspiring, and it gives people hope that humanity, we're not all just sitting on our couch thinking, what is someone going to do for me next? And I know there are a lot of people hurting out there. But for those people not to hurt as much, you and I need to be busy. We need to donate. We need to get active in our community. Okay? Political candidates are not going to solve all our problems. In fact, they don't solve even like a tenth of the problems that we have in our lives. If you need health care, you got to figure out, is there a clinic near you that offers, free, walk-in health care? Your emergency room of your hospital? I mean, you've got to start to think in terms of, okay, that doesn't solve all your problems. What I'm saying is, when you're pushed in one direction, you need to push back and you need to try to fight for your own well-being. Relying completely on politicians to save you is the worst strategy. It's the worst. Now, Bernie had some great ideas. I think the loan debt forgiveness thing would be just a game changer. And even if you could just get the bankruptcy laws changed, I think that would be huge. But it ain't going to happen with Bernie Sanders as the guy leading the movement. You need somebody to explain these ideas in a way that doesn't conjure up images of the old Soviet Union. And I'm not saying he's done this on purpose or recently, but many of his followers embrace this idea that we're going to rub it in your face. Well, we're democratic socialists. Really? You're the ones that are going to compromise deeply on Medicare for all, so we get some kind of public option. AOC. Justice Democrats. Just another left-wing pack looking to elect candidates that think the way they do. And it's tribalism again. It's just a different strain of tribalism. So that's my video. Again, second video of the day here. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. There's no way Tulsi people are going to just throw away their principles on a guy who, quite honestly, won't go to bat for Tulsi Gabbard and won't go to bat and won't fight for the rest of America. And I think that is one of the reasons why we're just going to stay the course for now. It's Tulsi all the way to the convention. And I don't care how many delegates she ends up with. I don't care if they take the 2 delegates that she has away from her. I don't care. I want her in the race for as long as possible so she can call out both sides of the aisle and she becomes a more formidable force going forward, because you know what? None of this BS has ever affected Tulsi Gabbard. She just doesn't care, and I'm glad. I'm glad she just looks it in the eye, and that's her soldier side. She's got the heart of a soldier, and we love her. So that's my video. I'll be back soon, and I'm waiting for my next shipment from Vladimir, and I will keep you posted on that.